When does the clock start ticking when it comes to a security clearance background investigation? Hi, this is Lindy Kaiser with clearancejobs.com. It is a great question, one that I got in my inbox a couple weeks ago, and really relates to the security clearance process timeline, which is always a hot topic over at Clearance Jobs. We release and provide the security clearance processing times that we get from DCSA, from ODNI when they release them, from other agencies. And obviously, what matters most is what is baked into those timelines. I have misspoke before, shocker, and said that those times are calendar days when they are actually business days. So that's worth noting when we say, hey, it's taking an average of, let's say, 120 days for a top secret security clearance background investigation. We are talking about calendar, not calendar. We're talking about business days, not calendar days. So the other part of it is like, hey, when does that timeline start? And that is the money question. The security clearance process is divided into three parts: the initiation, the investigation, and the adjudication stages. Those processing times that we were telling you about are the investigation and adjudication stages, where the applicant has the most direct impact and can really speed up their security clearance processing times is on the front end for that initiation phase. Hey, how long is it taking the agency or the company or the individual in this case to submit their SF-86, their eQIP or eApp investigation? The faster you can get that done, the faster the clearance processing times. The IC has always taken a lot of hits for their processing times reflecting investigation, adjudication, when their initiation times, which are not baked in there, being pretty hefty before it actually, the investigation piece of it starts. So you can submit your information and still be significantly below the posted averages and timelines simply because of that initiation phase of the process, which is, hey, how long is it taking that eApp, that eQIP, that submitted SF-86 to get into the hands of an investigator? Be proactive. If you are applying for the process, ask where you are at in that process, ask for a status, make sure it is not sitting on the desk in a computer in a review process with your FSO or with a CSO or a security officer. That is where you as an applicant have the most control. Once it reaches the investigation, the adjudication, the good thing is those processing times are seeing significant improvements across the board. We are seeing faster timeliness for processing for the investigation and the adjudication timelines, but obviously there is still some time baked into initiation, and that might not necessarily be a part of the process or the timelines that you see. So when we are talking about the process, when does it start? It starts when the investigation begins and has been submitted. It might not include, there might be some timelines and dates. Ideally, it's fast. I mean, that can get done incredibly quickly, how long it takes an agency to submit those security clearance investigations. But what you're seeing, DCSA, the Intel side report, is when the investigations and the adjudications start. And as largely for DCSA as a service provider, they don't have much control over how long it's going to take an agency, one of the 100 plus agencies that uses DCSA, how long it takes those agencies to punt those investigations into DCSA. It's not going to be a timeline that they can report. It'd be great to see down the road, hey, looking at you, Congress, some reporting requirements around that initiation phase. I think there's a lot of things that we have to get done, and that's probably not a high priority, but if you want to look at what's authentic when it comes to processing times, knowing what happens at the initiation stage is certainly helpful. But again, good news for you, security clearance applicant, is that you do have some steps that you can take. We have more on those steps and how to speed up the security clearance process in a lot of our content over at clearancejobs.com.